All right, everyone, we are back, and another update on the Cobra. There it is. Also, I've become a Cobra. But we're going to give this thing a wash because it is filthy. You probably can't tell super well in the video, but it's dirty, especially the back here. Hasn't been washed since I got it picked up, and it doesn't look like it got washed before it got picked up. And somebody was having a little fun on the Hoosiers, from what I was told. So a bunch of tire on the back there. Get this thing cleaned up and out in the sun. Before we do that, I actually kind of like these after seeing them for a little bit longer, but I'm going to go with the full Cobra inserts rather than like the little outline thing. So I'm going to pull these off. I'm hoping they come off pretty easily, and I have a set of the full black ones that I ordered. We'll put on after I'm done cleaning the car up. Alright, well, so luckily for me, they came right off. They left a little bit of residue behind. So before I wash the car, I'm going to hit it with a little bit of Goo Gone. The stuff works great, although it is kind of annoying because it's really sticky. But it's safe on paint. I've used it on painted things before. So we're going to use that to get the sticky off, and then we'll wash the car, detail it, and I'll put the other ones on later. Alright, so I'm going to be using an arsenal of products to clean this thing. I know a lot of guys on the internet use chemical guys, Adams polishes, all that good stuff. I go more pro grade. It's a little bit more expensive. I'm a big fan of Car Pro. Reset is their car shampoo. It's pH neutral, safe on ceramic coatings, works really nicely. We're going to wash the car off with that. Then we're going to do Iron X. That's to remove iron contaminants from the car. I'll show you how that works. Reload, I didn't realize I'm almost out. I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough to do the whole car. That's just a silica spray sealant. It's kind of like a wax, but a little bit easier to apply and lasts a little bit longer. And turtle wax, I'm actually going to use this plug-in tar remover to get the tar off of the rubber, off the fenders. It works pretty well. I've used it before and I like it, and it's cheap, and you can get it at any auto parts store. And then we're going to clay bar the whole car. Lots of work ahead. Alright, so here it is out in the sun. Still dirty, but still looks very nice. Everyone hates on silver metallic, but it does look really good in the sun, especially with these shiny wheels. Alright, so here we go. Works pretty nicely. I realized the other side I left sit too long. But if you use it while it's still wet, it pretty much comes right off, which is nice. Ta-da. Step one is done. Car is washed, cleaned, dried off. Looks really good, but we ain't done yet. Sheesh. Next up, Iron X. So this is a paint contaminant remover. I'm gonna hit it with some of this, and you'll see what happens here. You just spray it on. I usually do the whole car, and then we'll wait a couple minutes. Only downfall with this stuff, it smells awful. I'll report back in a couple minutes. All right, so it's been a few minutes. You want to make sure this stuff doesn't dry. It's actually pretty good though. What happens, I'm directly in the sun. Hold on, let me go this way. There you go. Is the Iron X will turn purple for any sort of contaminants. I don't know if you can see that. There's a big spot on the other side, but for the most part, the car's pretty clean. There's a good example. So I'm going to rinse this off, re-dry the car, roll it in the garage, and then we're going to clay bar it. Alright, so pulled it back in the garage. Iron X, cleaned, washed. It's already looking good. But now we're going to clay bar the car. So here it is. If anyone's not familiar with clay barring, basically bar of clay, literally as it sounds. You're going to take this, wet the car down. You can just use water. A lot of times if you buy a kit at the parts store, it comes with like quick detailer. Makes it a little easier as far as smoother across the paint. The clay bar is going to pick up any contaminants in the paint, dirt, sap, bug guts, whatever. And you basically go across the paint until the paint feels smooth and then move on. You're going to want a microfiber towel to dry off the section that you finish. I would highly recommend doing one panel at a time and not trying to do like random panel dry, random panel dry. So I'll show you a little bit of that. One that has not clay barred a car before, I'm going to give you a quick demo. Clay bar, ta-da. I'm using instant detailer. You can, like I said, you can use water. I have both laying around over here. I've been kind of going back and forth. So basically you're going to wet the surface. The instant detailer is nice because it's a little bit more slick than just straight water, but either's fine. Take the clay bar. You're going to knead it. Any section that's dirty, you're going to kind of knead it up. If your car has never been clayed, you might need 2 clay bars. This car is pretty clean. You can see it's going to pick up some dirt in there. Take the clay bar. You're going to take it on your wet surface, glide it across. What you're going to find, you're going to get some rough type surfaces, and as you clay bar the panel, it's going to smooth out. It's going to make your paint feel nice and slick. Any section, and as you go, you're going to want to kind of knead it up. Any section that has a lot of dirt in it or a lot of junk in the paint, the clay bar will get stuck. So right here, it'll give you a little resistance, basically. That area you'll want to work over a bit. Now, if you have any rock chips or anything, the clay bar will get stuck in those a little bit. Like, so for example, right here. If you have a really bad area, like right here, you just keep working through it until you smooth it out. You'll want to use more lubricant as you go, as it dries out. If the paint's too dry, it won't glide across. But basically you do this panel by panel at a time. I do little chunks until the paint feels smooth. And it takes a really long time. If you have a large car, for example, my wife has a Ford Escape. It takes me like probably 2 hours to do clay bar the whole car. I usually do it once a year. So years after I clay barred the panel, you can see all the little chunks of dirt it picks up. So I'm going to continue. It's going to take me a while, and then I'll show you the last step. 2.5 hours later. It took me a lot longer than I anticipated. This thing seemed to be full of junk in the paint. Dirty clay bar. It's going to be garbage, but you fold it over a bunch of times until you kind of get a clean side. So we're going to seal this thing here soon. It's looking good so far. I'm going to put the bumper inserts in before I do so. It doesn't take very long. But it's looking good. All right, here we go. Don't have a whole lot left. Probably going to be able to do a couple panels, but the rest of the car, I'm going to use this stuff. Not a huge fan. I got this at the parts store for the wife's car. It smells good, but it doesn't last very well. Also, just kind of side note, anything that says ceramic that you get from the parts store and is not professionally installed, not real ceramic. All this is silica. It's just a sealant. Main ingredient, SiO2. Don't get scammed. Don't buy the fake ceramic at the parts store unless you just want it as a sealant. Finished. That's it for today. I had just enough focus to do the whole car. Check it out.